Good morning and welcome to the fourth and final episode of Surviving the Storm. Today's show promises to be engaging and informative. We will discover transforming information on how to obtain financial aid to fund your education. Let's not stop there. We will discuss how to maintain a great financial aid credit score with Tamaya Cloyd later in the show. Also, we will have some budget cooking tips that won't dent your wallet. So stay tuned because Surviving the Storm starts right now. No, we're... Welcome back to another exciting episode of Surviving the Storm. I am your host, Jordan Gazarowski, and joining me today is Yolanda Deacon. Yolanda, thanks for joining us today.
I'm excited to be here today.
That's good to know. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
My name is Yolanda Deacon. I am originally from Cameroon in West Africa, born on a farm. And I moved to Milwaukee about 16 years ago on a scholarship to go to Marquette. And today I own Irie Zulu, which is a African and Jamaican restaurant located on 72nd and North. I'm a mother of two and really exciting life. And I'm very, very happy to share my love of cooking with you today.
That's great to know. So tell us, our show is catered to helping college students who want to survive on a budget. Mm-hmm. So what kind of advice would you give for a student, let's say, who wants to make a meal under $15?
Well, I've been a student myself, and I know what it is to, having to live on a budget. So I have a lot of tips that we're going to share throughout the program today. The first thing is to plan. I think knowing how to plan your meal for the week and think about the various ingredients that you're comfortable with, that you love, and discovering your neighborhood farmers market. The biggest secret out there that a lot of people don't know is that you can get a lot, meaning volume, great product for your health, because eating on a budget is also eating good food, right, but at quality or value price. And so discovering the farmers market in your neighborhood is the best tip that you will get from this program today. Okay. A lot of very, very exquisite produce at very, very reasonable prices.
So do you think volume and taste are important, when you're budgeting?
Of course, volume and taste is important, especially for students. So when you're living on a budget, thinking about the variety of ingredients, but also the quantity. When you go to the farmers market, you have in one-stop shop, one single place, vendors of vegetable or produce. You have packaged product, you have your meats, you have all kinds of exciting stuff that you can actually use for your meal planning. So, and in terms of thinking about how to use that hard-earned money, you look at what you really enjoy eating. As I mentioned, I could make potato in 15 different ways. So you get a bag of potato under $3 at the farmer's market, and you get your seasoning. So getting familiar with how you use seasoning or prepackaged sauces, and then you can have just scallop potato on Monday, a vegan dish on Tuesday, a casserole on Wednesday. So portioning it and stretching that ingredient over the week. So you can do it just by, again, planning ahead and visiting your farmer's market, right, and getting familiar with actually what you like. And taste is important. And shopping the farmer's market gives you exposure to so many ingredients that are fresh. So all you need to give to it is love, right, while you're cooking.
Exactly. Okay, in 30 seconds, can you please tell us what we're making?
So we're making today a delicious, delicious, under $10 meal in less than 10 minutes. I mean, if you're a student, I've been a student, it's a vegan peanut coconut curry stir fry, and we're using simple farmers market ingredient, again, less than $10. So you, right, have here just stir fry vegetables, you have rice, and then you have some herbs, and of course the star of the dish, which is our coconut curry sauce.
Well, we will have more with Yolanda coming up, but do you feel that money is a problem while pursuing your education? Eliseo Ramirez has solutions through a connection to the right resources.
Every student wants to go to school for less money. So why not sign up for financial aid, also known as FAFSA?
FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Financial aid helps students to be able to fund their education so that they can focus on things like actually getting their education while they're in school. It also includes student loans. It just depends on what particular form of financial aid that student does qualify for. And by completing the FAFSA application, that's how it's determined. We're able to see what the student qualifies for. Students have the option to pay on their student loans while they're in school, and students also have the option to wait until after they graduate. They have a 6-month grace period. For subsidized loans, they do not accrue interest while they're in school. So they don't have to pay anything while they're in school, and then once they graduate or stop attending, they have that 6-month grace period. Unsubsidized loans, however, they accrue interest right away. And for those loans, if students choose to pay that interest while they're in school, they can do that. Or they can wait, and it will add to the total principal of their loans, and then they start making payments 6 months after graduation as well.
Financial aid can benefit you, but not sure if you can apply for FAFSA, and what are the requirements to apply?
Everyone can apply for financial aid. Some of the basic requirements are for independent students, you must be the age of 24, you must be married or have children that you support. In order to apply for financial aid, you will need your demographic information, so your social security, your date of birth, that information. One of the benefits of financial aid is that's one less thing that you have to worry about as a student. You're already concerned about getting good grades, balancing your home life and your school life, and making your classes fit into all of that. So if funding your education is already taken care of, that's one less thing the students have to be concerned about.
It is important to know when applications are open and how many times you can apply for this aid.
So it's always encouraged. The best thing to do is apply as early as possible, because there are grants that are based on when you apply. So the earlier you apply, the better your chances. And the new thing is students are able to apply as early as October 1st. And the reason they're able to apply earlier is because we're using prior year. So you used to use the previous year's tax information. Well, now it's a lot easier because prior year, you're able to use 2 year ago tax returns. So for this year, you would be using your 2015 taxes. So more than likely your taxes for 2015 have already been filed. The good thing is you just use those tax returns to complete the application. Only complete the application one time and you get awarded for the entire school year. So if you attend school for fall, spring, and summer, you've already been awarded. So you completing the application early just gets that out of the way, and it's one less thing to stress about.
Don't know where to apply for FAFSA? Having trouble following the steps for financial aid?
The first thing you should do if you're brand new to financial aid is you want to complete the FAFSA application. The FAFSA application is the starting point for all students because that's going to determine your state eligibility for grants, your federal eligibility for grants, as well as your student loan eligibility. By completing that one application, you qualify for so many grants potentially. And if you don't qualify for any grants, we can at least determine what loans you could possibly be eligible for. So that is your starting point. You're going to go to FAFSA, that's FAFSA.ed.gov. The application is completely free. You complete that application in 3 to 5 days. You check in with your school to see that they've received the application, and then we're able to tell you where you stand and what additional steps may be required for you.
If you need more assistance to sign up for financial aid or have other questions, you can go and visit their website or office in downtown campus.
You can go to our website, matc.edu, click on the Student Services tab, then click on Financial Aid, and you can find out tons of information about financial aid, grants, scholarships, student loans. There's tons of information.
Don't miss this great opportunity. Go out there and apply and keep following your dreams.
Thanks, Eliseo. We now have a better understanding of how to access financial aid. Understanding money matters happens on all levels, including cooking. So, Yolanda,
Yes.
What ingredients do we have here today?
So we have here fresh ingredient from the Winter Farmers Market. So we have tomato, you have bell peppers, you have cauliflower chopped, and then you have some onion, and those are carrots. You
Chopped
can
up
substitute, you can substitute any ingredient here with your favorite stir fry ingredient. And here we have pre-cooked rice.
Steamed
Again, you
rice.
can use leftovers, and then your favorite herb here, cilantro and parsley and green onions. And then we will use some olive oil, and the star of the dish is our peanut coconut curry, Afrofusion, of course.
And of course, your picture's on the back of it too, so everybody
Of
can see that
course,
as well.
yes. And for those who can tolerate a little bit of salt, if they need salt, all those ingredients are salt-free, so very healthy for you.
So let's dive in. What's the first step?
So the first step, get your favorite oil. I like olive oil, so extra virgin olive oil. You bring it to heat in your skillet. Literally, we're gonna do this in less than 10 minutes. So, actually less than 5 minutes. So this is hot, as you can see. And what you want is to get your vegetable in first,
Okay.
to caramelize your onion. You hear that
Sizzling?
you see the sizzlings, that's what you're looking for. And then you just, there's no particular order. You want this to sizzle.
Smells so good. So
Yeah,
what am I smelling
already.
right now?
So you're smelling really fresh vegetable. I haven't even added a lot of ingredient yet. So you're smelling the caramelization of onion
Okay.
and your bell pepper. And then we will go ahead and add our rice. Again, you can do this right after your classes. Not a lot of work. So you have the rice in, and then now we're putting herbs, and we will finish with the jar. So you have your herbs.
So how
adding
long
in.
does it take to prep for this dish?
So less than 30 minutes.
Less than
'cause
30
you're-
minutes?
If you even want it a lot simpler, just go at your local farmer's market and grab a bag of already pre-cut vegetables. So I actually chop everything and prepare everything in less than 10 minutes.
And
so
so
we're
now
adding
the
the
star of
jar.
the show, right?
Exactly.
I had to say that for you.
Oh, thank you. So all that we're wanting now is just letting this sizzle, and we're ready to go. So,
Okay. And so this, you said, takes 5 minutes?
exactly 5 minutes. We made everything in front of you here. So now you let it actually sizzle as long as you want, and you can add as much texture or as much liquid as you want. So
Sounds good.
this is ready to go.
That's great. Before we sample this dish, let's address more serious matters that some students may be experiencing. Did you know that once your financial aid is in place, nursing students can simultaneously take classes at MATC and Cardinal Stritch effortlessly? Shamaria Hurt tells us how, while Jennifer Monk investigates multiple ways student organizations can raise funds on and off campus.
Are you a nursing student attending MATC and plan on getting your bachelor's? Well, here's a faster and more efficient way of doing so.
Cardinal Stritch and Milwaukee Area Technical College have been in partnership for many years working on different initiatives. As far as the concurrent enrollment initiative, we had signed the unprecedented agreement this past fall in 2017.
MATC and Cardinal Stritch both recognized that a degree to nursing needed to move faster and needed to be more accessible to students. And so together, we were able to build a degree that enables a student to go to MATC and Cardinal Stritch at the same time and finish a nursing degree faster than if the student were just to enroll in a bachelor's degree in nursing.
Dr. Kelly Dries shares the first step of transferring into the Stritch nursing program.
A MATC nursing student first applies to the MATC program, is accepted, and then is enrolled in the nursing classes at MATC. At the very same time, they will apply to Cardinal Stritch's bachelor's program.
You don't know if you can take classes at both schools at the same time? Well, you can.
Cardinal Stritch has a long history of offering students online courses, offering students accelerated evening courses, and it's through that long history combined with MATC's experience in offering hands-on education that students are actually going to take coursework at both institutions at the same time. Students will enroll in a standard offering of nursing courses at MATC, like they would have always done, but will also take a Cardinal Stritch course during the same semester. And they can do that online. They can do it in an accelerated evening format so that it doesn't interfere with the coursework that they're taking at MATC. So they truly are moving back and forth between both institutions at the same time, but they're doing it on a schedule that works for them.
Are you wondering if you meet the requirements or not? Here's step 2 to let you know if you're on the right track.
This innovative collaboration is set up where the associate degree nursing students, as they concurrently take our bachelor's program classes at Cardinal Stritch University, they enter into the program in which they need a 2.33 grade point average, and then they need to maintain a B- in all of their nursing and non-nursing classes. So how it works is that if a student was interested in this program, they would petition to get into the ADN program at MATC. Once they are admitted and enrolled into the MATC ADN program, they then apply to Cardinal Stritch University to concurrently take those bachelor's classes with us.
What's really great about the agreement is that between MATC and Cardinal Stritch, we've actually already worked out all the details so that all of the MATC credits transfer to Cardinal Stritch without the student having to worry about anything.
For more information on the nursing agreement and its program,
we actually have links on both MATC's website and Cardinal Stritch's website for how to get started. And at MATC, we have admission staff available to help. Cardinal Stritch has the same. And so wherever the student happens to land first, MATC or Cardinal Stritch University, the student is going to be able to get the same experience.
Veterans Student Organization raises money by doing different fundraisers. One of the biggest things with all the organizations on campus is selling popcorn. Or you can raise money by selling different items or different products that have to be particularly sealed, and you can raise money that way, like fundraisers, like selling pizzas or popcorn or candy or things like that. The Veterans Student Organization has been around for a while, but it actually sort of got back when I started here at MATC, which was about 2 years ago. So I sort of generated the organization back. No, there is no other on other campuses. There is no other organization on the other campuses. Just the main campus downtown here. We try to do other things with other organizations. You know, combine with either Latinos or the Black Student Union or other organization. We'll try to work with if they got a function they want us to help. We'll help them. The functions that we do off campus have not been many. Hopefully, in the coming semesters, we hope to do some things off campus to raise money as well. We used to be in M332, but now that we have the Veterans Resource Center here, they can sign up here at the Veterans Resource Center to be affiliated with the Veterans Student Organization. If anybody wants to join the Veterans Student Organization, you don't have to be a veteran. You could be a non-veteran. You can join the organization as well as any other organization on campus. If it's a Black Student Union, doesn't mean you have to be Afro-American, but you can still join the organization.
Nursing students, if concurrently taking classes at Cardinal Stritch and MATC interests you, go online to stritch.edu or matc.edu for more information. For information on raising funds and taking student trips, go to matc.edu and click on Veterans Resources. So this is the best part of the show, trying the dish.
Yes.
So let's go all in right now.
So look at the colors, just amazing fresh colors from vegetables, and then you have the starch, you have just the caramelization at the bottom and the sweetness from the cherry tomato. This is just amazing.
The smell is amazing too.
And it's good for you. So try this.
Here we go. The moment of truth.
Yes. Under $10, under 10 minutes, right on the show. Actually, I would say 5 minutes. So.
That is really good, Yolanda.
And it's good for you.
That's the best part too.
Yes.
So you said you can add meat to this if you want?
You can add meat, you can have tofu, you can add fish, you can add your favorite protein. And you can substitute vegetable to your liking as well.
Well, thank you for joining us, Yolanda.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was my pleasure to be here.
Do you feel that money is a problem for continuing your education? Do you feel stressed? If you've answered yes to any of one of these questions, doing something simple like making a paper airplane will help.
Stress. It's something that we all have to deal with at some point during our lives, but for John here, it can be especially hard from time to time, especially when you're easily stressed out. John is stressed out by a lot of things, but paperwork is his #1 stress issue. So today we're going to be showing how to make a paper airplane so that he can throw all that stress away in a very stylish manner. In order to make a usable paper airplane, the only item you're actually going to need is a piece of paper. Now, let's get on to the process of making our paper airplane. For the first step, the thing you need to do is grab the 2 top edges of the paper and bring their ends down as close to each other as you can while leaving as small a gap in between them as possible. Now, the paper won't always agree with this method and there will be a few bends and twists here and there, but if you pinch off the top, that should help you to line them up closer together. But once it's done, there should be a very small gap in between. If it's a little bit big, that won't usually be a problem. Once you finish the first portion of making your paper airplane, your paper should look something like this. Like I said before, there's going to be a little gap in the middle, but if it's just a small gap, that won't be a problem. But the less of a gap there is, the better. For the next part of making our paper airplane, you want to grab the tip of the paper that you pinched off in the beginning, and you want to fold the whole piece of the paper down so that the tip is just touching the bottom of the paper. After you've done this, you're also going to want to give the paper a good crease to make sure that it stays there. But once you've done that, your paper should look something like this. It'll look very similar to a sealed envelope. Our next part when making our paper airplane actually goes back to step 1, because once again we're going to be grabbing the 2 top edges of the paper and we're going to be carefully folding them over, but not going all the way down to the bottom. You want to make certain that you leave just a little tip of the top of the paper, or bottom depending on your point of view, and make sure that it stays hanging out because that'll be vital for the next part. And you'll also want to be a bit more careful when you're folding it over this time because now there's a lot more paper that you're trying to fold, so there's a chance it could rip or bend a lot more. So as long as you're careful and you don't pull the paper too hard, you should be good. Your paper should look like this after you've completed this step. Now granted, the paper will be sticking up a little bit more after this step. Don't worry, that's perfectly normal. So let's move on to our next step here. Your next step is going to be a very simple one. All you have to do is grab that bottom tip of the paper that you didn't fold over before, and you want to fold it over the crease that you made during the last step. When it's finished with, your paper should now look like this. This end will now be sticking up a bit more than the other paper because now it's taking on that resistance. But in any case, let's move on to our next step. We're nearly there. The next step when making our paper airplane is you want to take the entire piece of paper and you want to fold it to the outside so that you can still see all the creases and stuff that you've made during your steps. Now, with this, all we have to do is one more step and then we'll have a successful paper airplane. For the final step when it comes to making our paper airplane, you want to grab the top edge of the paper that you folded over before and you want to carefully fold it over so that it lines up with the bottom edge of the paper and then give it a good crease to make certain that it stays there. After you've done this on one side, you want to turn the paper over and you want to carefully fold the other. Then, after you've finished creasing those edges, all you have to do is grab the paper, extend the wings, and your paper airplane is all set to fly. Look it over, make sure everything's good. You might need to sharpen the tip some more just to make sure it flies good, but then all you have to do is, whew, throw it. Wait, hold on a minute, that wasn't ours. Ah, that was John. The entire time we were making our paper airplane, he was making one of his own so he could throw his stress away. I hope you've all enjoyed this little stress reliever, and in the future, I hope you use it for yourself.
What a great way to reduce stress, Josh Woznicki. Sometimes getting away is what's necessary to relax, calm your nerves, and take a load off your mind, especially with finals right around the corner. Find ways to de-stress that are comfortable for you, like reading a book or by watching a movie. I'm joined now by Tomia Clyde. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Did you survive the storm? You got here all right?
I did.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a financial aid specialist at MATC for 9 years, and I've worked in financial aid for 11 years total.
Okay. What is required for a student to have a great financial aid record, score?
I think Asking questions is probably most important. I think that students need to take advantage of any money that they do not have to pay back. So I would start off by applying for the FAFSA to determine if they're eligible for any state grants, federal grants, or anything that they wouldn't have to pay back. The next thing I would do would be apply for scholarships. You want to basically take advantage of all things free. And then the next thing I would do is responsibly apply for student loans.
What's a problem that a lot of students run into while
I
applying?
think that one of the biggest misconceptions is that financial aid is just free money. So a lot of times our students come in and they say, oh, I'm pretty sure I won't qualify for financial aid, I make too much money. Well, that's not necessarily true. There are some grants that don't really, they're not concerned with how much money you make or how much money your parents make. And there are also scholarships that students apply for. And then we also have student loans. So it includes all types of aid.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of college students want to have fun.
Absolutely.
Of course, like we've had that we both graduated from college.
Absolutely.
And what do you recommend? Like, how do you budget having fun and actually budget for financial aid?
I think it's just being responsible. So I think it's just a little bit of knowing that if you're going to go grocery shopping, you want to, shop on a budget. You want to make a list. You want to go into it prepared. If you're going clothing shopping, you want to buy things that are on sale. You don't want to go shopping every week. You want to scale down a little bit and just, use your money, make a budget, and only spend what you actually have budgeted for. And include fun in that budget.
That's actually a good point. So, when you first get that bill in the mail, your first financial aid bill, what do you recommend students do?
I recommend students to contact their loan servicer. I think that's one of the biggest fears the students have. You see this bill and maybe you're not working your dream job just yet. That's fine. Contact your loan servicer. Let them know what your situation is. Are you working at all? Are you working part-time? Are you making just a little bit of money? Let them know what your situation is and they will work with you. Sometimes you don't have to make a payment at all.
Really interesting. Well, thanks for the insight. So in 15 seconds, can you just say one important thing about financial aid? What's the best way to?
The most important thing I would say about financial aid is do not be afraid to ask questions and don't be afraid to apply. You must apply. And if you have questions, that's what your financial aid professionals are there for.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
And thank you for joining us on Surviving the Storm. I wish you the best of luck on your finals and have a happy holiday.